Hello, I'm Jalen Peterson, a part of Project Group 3, and the role I've taken on is to find the coordinates on the unit circle. So I already have the angles and the the radians already listed, so you could follow along with what I do. So when I first start with the unit circle, I when it comes to the coordinates, the first thing I look at are the four major points. 0 degrees, 360 degrees, 2 pi, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270. For the simple fact, I know that the coordinates will be whole numbers, only 0 and 1, 0, -1, depending on where it lays. So when I come to this part, this dot that I created in the middle is the origin. So as you move right on the origin, you know that's a change in the x value. Therefore, you know the x value is gaining 1 unit of movement. It does not move vertically, so the y value will remain 0. And on the opposite side, you just switch up the negative sign. So you just switch up the negative sign. So it'll be -1, 0. As you see, it moves to the left 1 unit, and it does not move vertically on the origin. Away from the origin. So then, well, usually I start either with any of these values because they're just about all the same. So I know that this one would be +1, does not move on the x-axis. -1 does not move on the x-axis again. So then the next point that I come to is I go to 45 degrees, 135, 225, and 315. I'm not sure if you noticed when I was going through saying those numbers. Each of them are coterminant angles for pi/4, because all you do is add 2 pi, add 2 pi, add 2 pi. And I already know at these points right here, everything is over 2. But that's for all of the equations, all of the coordinates, no matter what it is, they'll always be over 2. So if you want, you could mark up the denominator already for all of them, because all of them, like I said, would be over the denominator of 2. So the only thing that you really need to focus on when you come to these points is the positive and negative signs, depending on whether the x value is positive or the y value is positive, also known as the sine and cosine values. Sine is y, cosine is x. So we're in the first quadrant now. I'm working with 45 degrees. So since it's in the middle, dead smack in the middle, one thing that I always remember is that it'll be the square root of 2 for both the sine and cosine values. So that's why I say the only thing you really need to focus on is the negative signs and whatnot, because in this one, both sine and cosine are positives. Therefore, the values are positive. In the second quadrant, the x value or the cosine value is negative. So we will have a negative square root of 2. I'm sorry if I'm blocking the vision. And the y value remains positive. Come to the third quadrant, same thing, except both of them are negative this time. Therefore, we will have negative square root of 2, negative square root of 2. Over here, same thing, y value is negative, negative square root of 2 on the y value. Oh, I'm sorry, I see the camera isn't focusing for some reason. Okay, there we go. Now, as I move along, the thing that I keep in my mind is whether it's approaching closer to the y, is the y value gaining or is the X value gaining? And what I mean by that is, as you can see, at 30 degrees, I'm gonna use this point, at 30 degrees, the coordinate is closer to the X, to the X value, to the movement of one whole unit of the X value, opposed to the Y value, which it is further away from. And you'll see when I go to 60 degrees, you'll see what I mean. So like I said, everything's over 2. So you have your denominator already. You only need to find your numerators. So to find the numerators, you only use 3 numbers throughout the whole process. 1, 2, and 3, literally 1, 2, and 3. That's another thing to keep in mind. It's not. It sounds like a lot, but it's not so much when you keep doing it repeatedly. So, like I said, the Y value is lower than the X value, and you know you're only using 3 numbers. So we already found the median number, which is 2, using 1, 2, and 3. If you know the Y value is lower, 1. Therefore, this will be the square root of 3. Like I said, 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. So when I go up here, put everything over 2 once again. I could tell you that the Y value is now greater than the X value. As you can see, the X value lands about right here, which we know as the value as 1/2 is 1/2 of a unit of movement. Therefore, Y will be square root of 3, and it continues to flow throughout the rest of the chart, doing just like that. So I'll go ahead and fill in the rest. Over 2, over 2. Y value is greater. Square root of 3. X value, 1/2. We're in the second quadrant. Remember, cosine, the cosine value, X value, is negative. I'm sorry, I know everything's kind of jumbled up because my printer wasn't working and I had to sketch it out myself. So we could just continue to fill it out. Everything over 2, once again. The Y value is less than the X value now, as you can see. So now that Y value is at 1/2, and the X value, square root of 3. Negative square root of 3 at that, because we're in the second quadrant. Now we come to the third quadrant. You know, everything is negative in the third quadrant besides tangent. And the reason for that is because when you divide 2 negative numbers, you get a positive number. So you just go ahead and fill this in closer to the negative Y value. So you have negative square root of 3. You know the X value, you got 1/2. Negative 1/2, I'm sorry about that. Square root of 3 negative 1/2. And we could go ahead and fill in this last section. Y value, like I said, is closer to the -1 Y value. But in this case, only the Y is negative. X is positive. We're in the fourth quadrant now. And if you see 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, you can see that it flows. It flows. 1, when you get to the hole, counts down. Back to the hole, counts down. You get -1, counts back down. Thank you.